All right, listen here, man. Here we go. It's the 24th of Mayhams Social Media Coalition, bringing you the propositions, California, making sure that all black people understand it. 2020 is a voting year. A human right is to make sure that your rights are in vote. So here we go. Day 7, August 24th. Countdown to that day. August 24th. We got 70 days, I believe it is now. 70 days to the election. November 3rd, excuse me. November 3rd, 2020. And with that said, Proposition 20. Listen, I want to read y'all Proposition 20 because Proposition 20 kind of deep, man. Proposition 20 is it's long, man. It's about laws. Y'all might want to pay attention to this one because this is about laws. It's about criminal laws. Understand this one. Here go the verbiage, and then we'll talk about it. It's a little long. It said, what would the ballot initiative change about criminal sentencing and supervision policies in California? Again, this is Proposition 20. The ballot initiative would amend several criminal sentences and supervision laws that were passed between 2011 and 2016. The ballot initiative will make specific types of thefts and fraud crimes, including firearm thefts, vehicle thefts, and unlawful use of a credit card, chargeable as misdemeanors or felonies, rather than just misdemeanors. The ballot initiative would also establish 2 additional types of crimes in state code: serial crimes and organized retail crime, and change them as wobblers, crimes chargeable as misdemeanors or felonies. The ballot initiative will require persons convicted of certain misdemeanors that were classified as wobblers or felonies before 2014, such as shoplifting, grand theft, drug possession, along with several other crimes, including domestic violence and prostitution with a minor, to submit to a collection of DNA samples for the state and federal database. The California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation has a parole review program in which felons convicted of nonviolent crimes as defined in law could be released on parole upon completion of their sentence, his or her offense, the completion of the sentence for his or her offense with the longest imprisonment term. The ballot initiative will require the parole board to consider additional factors, such as the felon's age, marketable skills, attitude about the crime, and mental condition, as well as the circumstances of the crime committed, before deciding whether to release the felon from parole. The ballot initiative would allow prosecutors to request a review of the board's final decision. The ballot initiative would also define 51 crimes and sentence enhancements as violent in order to exclude them from the parole review program. In California, counties are responsible for supervising parole felonies, and non-serious and non-violent crimes as defined by law, and who were classified as high-risk sex offenders, non-classified as needing treatment from the State Department of Mental Health. Counties have discretion over whether to petition for judicial system to change the felony's postponed release terms of statuses. The ballot initiative will require local probation departments to ask a judge to change the conditions or status of a felon post-release supervision if the felon convicted and violates supervision terms for the 3rd time. Now, let me tell you what this do. That's all the conversation. That's all the verbiage about it. As we understand here at Mayhem Social Media Coalition, this is basically a law about extended crimes. It's talking about wobbler. It mentions a wobbler in there. And a wobbler in particularly is any crime that could be seen by the judge, left up to the judge's discretion as a misdemeanor or a felony. Let me tell you what the problem with that is. This wants to add 51 new crimes to the list of wobblers. That means misdemeanor crimes. It was turned 51 new misdemeanor crimes, or 51 misdemeanor crimes that are on the books as misdemeanors. It wants to turn them into possible felonies, depending on the judge's discretion. That's a big old word. Discretion is a big old word because that means it's per the person. It's per the person. You know, each person that come in there, the judge can say, oh, misdemeanor. This judge can say, oh, felony. But if a crime is committed, it should be categorized as one particular thing. It should be not left up to a personal discretion if it's the law. That's our opinion here at Mayhem Social Media Coalition. Proposition 20 is big for us, man, because me personally, let me tell you what Proposition Let me tell you what Proposition 20 does. Proposition 20 is anti-AB 109 for all those who are familiar with AB 109. Proposition 20 is anti-AB 109. AB 109 allowed for drug rehabilitation programs. It broadened the scope of parole and probation programs because there was an overcrowding and overpopulation in the prison systems. And some people felt like maybe the justice and the judicial system was unfairly sentencing people. Not convicting them, just unfairly sentencing them. So with that being said, they came up with AB 109. AB 109 was an adjustment of the rules. People started doing more time in the county jail. People that were closer to sentencing were able to go home and be released a little bit earlier, put on ankle monitors and the like, probation and the like. And they came up with a lot of drug programs to help people with drug problems. That's what AB 109 did. But with AB 109 being taken away, which is what Proposition 20 is proposing, it's saying AB 109 is unnecessary. So with that being said, Proposition 20 is saying, let's increase the sentencing. Let's increase the population of the prison system. Let's increase the judicial system with more cases and allow these judicial cases to be discretionarily considered wobblers. Proposition 20. If you vote yes on Proposition 20, you're saying that misdemeanor crimes can be or should be allowed to be tried as felonies. You believe, if you're saying yes on Proposition 20, you're saying that people are committing crimes and there should be stricter punishments on those crimes. And it's even more so, there should be stricter punishment on the people released from jail. There should be stricter guidelines on their parole and release. If you say no on Proposition 20, you're saying that AB 109 is sufficient and that there's no need for criminal law reform come November 3rd, 2020. Proposition 20. Black people, make sure y'all get out and vote, man. They doing a lot of serious things, and a lot of these crimes that we feel here at Mayhams Social Media Coalition, we feel a lot of these crimes that are labeled in this as possible felonies to be brought up are crimes that we're accused of quite highly. Thank you.